Greetings, Benjamin J from BENZTRAINZ with another in the series. Well, I wanted to do a quick video on this. I was talking to a neighbor and mentioned that I run trains, and he said, I got a whole box of track if you want it. It's like, wow, okay, great, thanks. Anyway, this is it. Now, I've already sorted through most of it. There's two Marx switches, as you see. Whoops. Not in perfect condition, but they work. And I also found this one. This is an old Lionel switch. I looked this up. This is 1946. It's an old stamped switch. Now, this thing was frozen absolutely solid. As you see, it's covered in rust. Anyway, I zapped it with a couple of shots of WD-40, and it's up and working. And this thing was frozen solid. I didn't know if I was going to be able to break it loose or not. On these old stampings, many times the rivets are rusted, and you'll try to break them loose and the rivets will just shear off. But in any case, I sprayed it with WD-40, let it set for a couple minutes, and then slowly just started to wiggle it. And it got right there and boonk, broke loose. And as you see, that switch is working perfectly. These are actually in fairly decent shape. Now, there is a 6,000 shell in here in pretty rough condition. Both the mounts are gone, but it's a 6,000 shell. And then, pull the camera off the tripod, all of this track. Now, some of it is fair, as you see. Some of it is fairly rusty, as you can tell. But I could de-rust all of this. You know, I don't usually run original Marx track. And some of this looks like, this is Lionel track. Now, the nice thing about this old Lionel track is that it will mate perfectly with Menard's track. Just absolutely perfectly. It's the same gauge, it's the same size. This is rusty, so what I'll do is very likely pull all the Lionel out of here and de-rust it. As far as the Marx stuff, no idea. You can see some of the stuff is just pretty bad. Even so, all of it can be saved. So I thought it was really cool that he graciously gave me all this stuff. You know, evidently it had been in his garage for years and years and years. I didn't even ask him if he ran trains, so we just talked about it. He said he had a box full of old track. So, in any case, the very first thing that's salvageable are these switches, as you can see. An old Lionel, like I said, I looked this one up. It's Lionel number 1024. This is 1946. This is an old switch, really light stamping. These two Marx switches, you clean these up. These are actually in fairly decent shape. They still have the flags on them, as you see. And both of them work. So they need to be cleaned and lubricated, but as you see, they're not rusty at all. They're filthy, but they're not terribly rusty. Whereas this one, as you see, is covered in rust. Even so, I can de-rust that, and I can de-rust this track. So I'll probably sort this out, pull out all the Lionel track. Like I said, Lionel, the old Lionel, will mate perfectly with the new Menard's track. It's exactly the same size and the same thickness, same gauge. It's a perfect way to assemble a running layout of some really nasty old track, and it mates perfectly with Menard's track. Anyway, I thought it was nice of him to give me all this stuff. He seemed happy to get rid of it. Anyway, I just wanted to do a quick video on this. It's a lot of track. It's as you see, fairly good-sized box full of track. And that old 6,000 shell, there's really not much I can do with it. But in any case, the switches themselves are instantly salvageable. So these two just need a bath, a good clean scrubbing and some lubrication. This one, as I said, was just frozen solid. I didn't know if I was going to be able to break it loose or not. Like I said, these old stampings, many times you can get it to start to move and the rivets themselves will just shear off. But this seems to be in fairly decent shape, and mechanically it is working. So I can de-rust that. It would be good as new. Anyway, I just want to do a quick video on this. Like I said, just talking to the neighbor, and he was out in his garage digging through a bunch of stuff he had and mentioned that he had some track, so I figured, what the hell? It was definitely worth the effort to carry it home. So anyway, I will very likely sort this out, Lionel Marx, take the Lionel out and de-rust it. The rest of it, no idea. I mean, there's a lot of track in here. Like I said, this is Lionel. So there's probably enough here to make it worthwhile. This is Marx. To actually de-rust this and then spray it with WD-40 and put it up and use it at some time. Like I said, the nice thing about it is that the old Lionel track will mate perfectly with the new Menards track. So anyway, I just want to do a quick video on this. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to drop me an email, BENZTRAINZ@gmail.com. And as always, thank you for watching.